the program. All right, great. Hi, my name is Janice Daniels, and we're interested in getting your opinion on what you think the state of marriage in America today is. Are you married?
No, I'm not.
Would you like to be married?
Someday, yes.
And what do you think the purpose of marriage is?
I think that the purpose of marriage nowadays is, well, in my opinion, it's that two people are in union. It shouldn't be a legal document that somebody is married to someone else. It doesn't mean that you get to take all of their money when you get divorced. It shouldn't be, something that is legally based. It should be something that's based off of your heart and you want to be with that person for, hopefully the rest of your life.
Do you want to have any children in your life?
Yes, I do.
And how do you feel that the state of marriage in America today is affecting our children?
I think that children nowadays might have a confused view on what marriage is nowadays. Just because I think that the way that the media puts it out there, marriage is about having a diamond ring and about having kids and having all of these things. And, I don't think that kids have a good view on or good examples per se on what marriage should be.
What do you think we could do to fix marriage in America?
Well, I think that people shouldn't just be getting married on a whim. I think that, people should live together before they get married. They should, probably even be having sex with each other before they get married, to be honest, because you don't really know a person until you live with them or until you've, been with them for at least, 3 or 4 years. I mean, especially if you're going to, get married like right away and then who knows, you might get divorced, I mean, that's a lot of money. And, marriage shouldn't be about money.
Well, I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Ross. He's actually been an emergency room physician for 30 years, and for the past 20 years, he's made it his life's passion to look at the state of marriage and how it's affecting our children. And I think he might have a couple of comments on different things that you've said this afternoon. Dr. Ross?
Yes, I really appreciated some of the ideas that you were offering. You said that you thought that people should actually have sort of a dry run to assure that they were doing the right thing. Have you looked at any of the data or the information on how successful those dry runs are across America and across the world?
Somewhat. I mean, a lot of it is also based off of my own experience, and I actually worked with a lot of teenagers, and just from what I can see as a whole, I can tell that in some countries it's okay to get married before you even know someone, and I sometimes I feel bad for those people because I'm like, this isn't your choice. And in America we're actually really lucky that we get to choose who we marry, and I think a lot of people take advantage of that. I think that too much of a good thing can be a bad thing.
Dr. Ross, hold the microphone closer to her mouth when she's talking. Go ahead.
Okay, so if I were to tell you that people who live together before they marry have a 90% failure rate in their relationship, would that make a difference as far as whether or not you think the dry run's a good idea?
You said if, can you repeat the question?
People who live together to start their relationship off that way have a 90% failure rate in their relationship. So knowing that, do you think that, no, without being married, as far as being two people who are really serious and now they're living together, they have a 90% failure rate, as far as their relationship going anywhere. So does that make a difference as far as you're thinking the dry run might increase the success of the relationship?
Well, I mean, from what you're saying, then they really shouldn't even be getting married then. Like, if, from what you're saying, if that's how it's going to react, if they're together and then they haven't gotten married and, they're going to fail anyway, why even get married, in the first place? So I agree with what you're saying as far as that goes. Like, I mean, I think that then there's still no point in getting married unless it's not a legal document.
Well, Dr. Ross, I think that what we're talking about is the fact that people who live together before they get married, once they get married, their marriages fail at a 90% increased rate than people who have training on what it takes to be married before they get married, before they live together, before they make that lifetime commitment. So what we're saying is that when people live together thinking that that's going to improve their marriage, that hasn't been proven through statistics. So, in fact, what we're trying to do is to develop a training program so that people can have some foundational tools when they enter into a marriage, just like Dr. Ross had years of training to become a doctor. I've had years of training to become a realtor. You've probably had years of training to become whatever your profession is. So we think that it's equally as important to have years of training.
Oh yeah, and it's equally important to have years of training, and also you have to realize that people are constantly changing. Everything in our environment, our economy, all of this stuff is changing, and people need to get with the times. Because if you're trying to use the same old, statistics from 50 years ago, that doesn't apply to right now. I really think that people need to kind of figure out what's going on with the youth nowadays. Because it's based with technology coming in, that's changed a lot of stuff. So
there are a lot of problems that our children are facing: drug abuse, premarital sex, unwed pregnancies, suicide, etc. What do you think we might do as adults to help our children have a better environment with which to grow up in?
I think that a lot of adults and parents, even whether you have kids or not, you need to get more involved with your community. You need to actually take the time to listen to these kids and do, community service, volunteering. I worked in a home where we got a lot of foster kids, and it was really unfortunate because a lot of the foster parents weren't even taking good care of these kids. A lot of it was based off of money, and I think that people need to stop, being... I think that people need to look more into the emotional side of, where these kids are coming from, because a lot of people want to talk to kids like they're adults, and they don't know, they don't know what you're talking about exactly.
Could you smile and look at the camera so we can see your pretty face on camera? Thank you. I appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.